Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to film this video for a really long time, so I'm so glad that I finally got to it. I'm going to be doing a teen book recs. Whether you love reading, you hate reading, if you haven't read for a while and want to get back into it, or if you never really read, these are some amazing books and I think you'll really enjoy them. If you don't really love reading, I am going to start with some books that aren't in the series just so you can get like started, but don't worry, series are coming because I love series. Okay, so first we have this book. This is like maybe top 3, I don't know, one of my favorite, not in a series, books ever. I don't know if you can tell, but there's literally sand on it because this is such a good beach read, so read it while it is still summer. Basically, it's about this girl named Meredith. They have an annual family vacation to Martha's Vineyard, but her cousin, I can't remember her name, is getting married, and so they're there for a wedding. But this is the first time that they've been back after her sister passed, so it's like a little bit hard for her for sure. And then they play this game called Assassin, where everyone on the island gets, or I guess it's not an island, but gets a slip of paper with someone's name that they have to assassinate with water, like a water gun or anything. But she meets this guy named Wit, and it's just like a really sweet and cute summer romance, and their chemistry's so cute and I love them. I also tabbed this book, some of them are coming out, but the pink are cute moments between her and the guy named Wit, and then the blue are sad moments like remembering her sister. It's just like fun if I want to look back at that. The whole book is also annotated. I don't know if you can really tell, but annotated by multiple people, so. But yeah, this is a 5-star read. One of my favorite books, highly recommend. Next up we have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This book is an interesting one. I didn't really know what it was about going in, so I was a little surprised. But basically it's about this girl that wakes up on Valentine's Day. She has her whole Valentine's Day, and then she wakes up and it's Valentine's Day again, and she keeps waking up, and she's kind of in a time loop of Valentine's Day. But it's really interesting. I loved the character development. I loved the love interest. It was all really sweet and cute and fun. I feel like if I had known what it was about going in, I probably wouldn't have read it because it's not really my type of thing. But I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it like 3.5 or 4 stars. It seems like it would be frustrating to read, like one of those things that you're just like, oh my gosh, like with the time loop. That wasn't really an issue. So I'm also just such a sucker for covers. Like it's just so cute. All right, moving on to the next one. I don't have with me because sadly this book got lost. I love you, Brielle, it's okay. But it is also by the same author, Lynn Painter, and it is called Better Than the Movies. And I read this one first, it came out first. And I probably enjoyed it a little bit more, but again, cutest cover. But it's about this girl, and there's this guy she likes. He's kind of her like picture perfect guy, like perfect on paper. And so she's going for him, trying to get him to go to prom with her. And then her wingman the whole time, his name's Wes, and they're kind of enemies, they're neighbors. And he agrees to help her try to get the guy. As she gets like closer to the guy, she's kind of like, he's not exactly what she expected. However, Wes is kind of like, but anyway, I won't say too much, but it was a really cute book. I really enjoyed it. Like probably 4 stars. It was so fun to read. I loved the like chemistry between the two. Definitely easy to read, fast paced. I forgot to say that, but all these books are like easy to read. You get into quick, you just want to keep reading them. You can't put them down, they're the best. Next up we have Every Summer After. Again, so good to read at the beach or if you want to just have a summer vibe. This one is set in a lake though, which was a different turn, but I really loved it. Basically, Persephone, who's the main character, her family gets a lake house, and their neighbors, Sam and Charlie, kind of come over and they immediately like click and hang out, and then Persephone becomes like best friends with Sam, and you just kind of see their romance like blossom over all the years of them, you know, being at the lake house together every summer. However, Sam and Persephone have not talked in 12 years, and Sam's mom died, and Persephone gets invited to the funeral. So you're going back and forth between them 17 years ago all the way up to 12 years ago, kind of having fun in the summer, falling in love, really sweet, and the now part where she's now having to see him after not talking to him for 12 years, and you're just kind of seeing that interesting dynamic going on. And the whole book, you're leading up to figuring out what went wrong, and so when you finally figure out what goes wrong, you're like, but this is a book that you get lost in. It is so good. I love it. Their relationship is so sweet, and I just love the lake vibes. But yeah, this is a 5-star read. One of my favorite books. Next up we have Love and Gelato. This is more of a 3-star read, but I really enjoyed it, honestly. And there's also a movie that came out. I heard it's trash. I haven't seen it, but if you're the kind of person that loves to like read the book and watch the movie, this is a good one. So basically her mother dies, and her dying wish was for her to get sent to to get sent into Italy and spend some time with this mysterious guy that is apparently her father. So she ends up having a journal that her mom wrote in when she was in Italy, and as she's going through the book and discovering Italy, she's also reading her mom's journal and kind of going through it with her. And then there's also the character Ren, who's this really sweet guy who kind of shows her through Italy, and they become really good friends and even a little more. And through the process, she ends up discovering this big secret. There's a little mystery aspect. It was kind of a plot twist. But yeah, this was a cute book. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check out this book. Then another one that I don't have with me is Float, and I loved this book. The love interest is like very grumpy and like honestly just rude. Like at first it wasn't like cute, it was just like, you're literally mean. But as the book goes on, like it gets so good. So basically this girl, honestly I don't remember her name, I don't have the book with me, but she goes to this little beach town where her aunt lives for the summer. She ends up making friends with this friend group and she's doing summery fun stuff with them, and it's a little hard for her to like fit in at first, and so she cannot swim. And that's kind of a problem for her because while she's hanging out with all the friends and stuff, like she's just avoiding water, avoiding the beach and everything. And so the guy agrees to teach her how to swim. And her and the guy end up kind of falling for each other, and it's really cute. So that's where the name Float comes in. But honestly, it was just such a cute book and I really enjoyed reading it. I definitely got through it fast. And also there's kind of a sense of like found family and friendship. I hope you enjoy it too if you decide to read it. Then we have this book called Cinderella is Dead. This book was so interesting. I loved the take on Cinderella that they had. So basically it was kind of like a fantasy world, but all the teen girls are required to go to the big ball where the men kind of like select them as their wives. But anyone that doesn't get matched is like a forfeit from society, an outcast. But the world is very unjust, kind of run by men. The girls are like all struggling a lot, and it's like bad leadership by the king and stuff. But she ends up meeting Constance, who is the last known descendants of Cinderella and her stepsisters. And together they kind of go on like an adventure to like bring down the kingdom and make their world a better place. It was really cool. I loved like the storytelling, and the overall world was such a interesting like place to be. And yeah, we also find out like a side of Cinderella's story that like you never knew, and there's this huge plot twist. If fantasy's more your thing, you'd probably really enjoy that. So yeah, I hope you read it. Another book that I don't have is called Girls with Sharp Sticks. I thought this book was so cool. Basically, it's all these girls and they're in this like school that they were sent to, but there's like dodgy stuff. Like all the girls are being gaslighted, brainwashed. Slowly, this girl starts to figure out like, whoa, like stuff isn't right here. But this guy ends up coming along, kind of helps her to see that there's like more going on than what you realize. And then again, like I just love plot twists so much, but there's like this big plot twist that happens, like a really big plot twist, like you would have never guessed that. But yeah, it was a really cool book. It was very like feminist, had like a bit of a deeper meaning too, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Then we have The Cheat Sheet, which is just one of those cute bubbly romances. It's like these two best friends, and they've been like best friends for like ever, and they both like each other, but they don't think that the other one likes them, so they like never make a move, and the whole book you're just like, make a move. But she's a ballerina and he's a football player and I'm a dancer, so I was kind of like, oh, that's cute. He's also like famous because he's like on the NFL. I think they end up fake dating for some reason, but it was so good. Like the characters were so good. I loved the book, loved their relationship. It was really sweet. Yeah, honestly 4 or 5 stars. Like it was a really good book. Okay, so those are all my standalone type of books, and now I'm gonna go into series, because if you are looking to get into a good series, like I am the person to talk to. I love series, but I'm gonna start out with a smaller series that might be a little bit easier for you to read if you don't love reading already. So this book is The Inheritance Games. That's why over here there's nothing there because I took the first book, but it's like a mystery book. So basically this billionaire dies and he leaves his entire fortune to this girl named Avery, and it's like no one knows why he would leave it for her. It was just super random. She ends up going to his estate, his house or whatever, and she meets his 4 grandsons, which they're like the best iconic group. Like I love them all so much. They all have like their own little personalities, their own little things. It's so cute. There's a love triangle between 2 of the brothers. Honestly, I'll take the other 2 because I love them all. But yeah, she's trying to figure out why the heck this random dude left his entire fortune to her, and it's like really interesting. It's a mystery. There ends up being like a whole plot that leads to the other 2 books, and just a lot of twists and turns. If you like mystery and that type of thing, it's very fast paced. The chapters, honestly, I didn't like this, but I know a lot of people do like this. A chapter is like 1, 2, 3 pages, 1 page. Like it's just insane. They're so short. So if you need something to go by really fast, this is great because chapters just flyby. Personally, I don't think this series is super for me. Like, I would recommend it, but I don't like mystery that much. But I definitely just wanted to give it a try. But yeah, you should definitely read it if that sounds like something you would be interested in. Next up, I'm just gonna go with the Holy Trinity right now because these are all my faves. Okay, so we got Hunger Games, Divergent, and Twilight. They're all like the same vibe. Like, I don't know, I just associate these books together. But let me talk about each individually. You know what the Hunger Games is, but I'll explain it anyway. In this world, there is the capital and there are the districts, and the capital are just the really rich, powerful people. Then there's the districts. They're basically slaves to the capital. Each year they have the Hunger Games, where the capital takes 2 people out of each of the 12 districts to go fight to the death in the Hunger Games. And so Katniss Everdeen, the main character, her little sister Prim gets picked. She ends up volunteering for her, I volunteers tribute, and takes her place in the Hunger Games. She goes with this guy named Peeta, who is like, we all love Peeta, like, you know who Peeta is, he's the best. And then there's the whole rebellion kind of thing against the Capitol and the other books, and it's classic, it's amazing. It's just one of those books, like, if you haven't read it, you just should read it just because it's the Hunger Games and like you need to read it. Then we have Divergent. Okay, this book is so good. So Divergent is another dystopian book. In this society, you are either one of 5.
The factions are dauntless, the brave, candor, the honest, abnegation, the selfless, amity, the peaceful, and erudite, the intelligent, and each individual must choose a faction at the age of 16.
Yeah, so you basically have to choose which of those suits your personality the best, and then you have to go there for the rest of your life. If you are divergent, that means that you don't fit into one of those necessarily. You're kind of an out-of-the-box type of person. And so the main character discovers that she's divergent, but she has to hide it. And then there's also this guy named Four. Four is so hot. But this is such a good book. 5 stars. I love the whole series so much. Then we have Twilight. Oh my gosh, Twilight is so fun. I love Twilight. Basically, Bella ends up going to this town to live with her dad. She meets Edward and his family, who are vampires. It's a great book, honestly. The whole series was just like really fun to read. It's a fever dream, but I love it. Then we're gonna end with my favorite book series of all time, Shatter Me. It's about this girl named Juliet, and she's a little bit insane. If you look through the book, there's like things that she crosses out because this is her journal, and she's basically insane. She's been like alone in this like solitary confinement thing for a long time because anyone she touches, she like. And yeah, this guy Adam comes, he's like a soldier, and he ends up taking her to this guy named Aaron Warner, who is like one of the leaders of this world, and he's like trying to use her because of her power to kill people. It's really interesting. The romance is so good. My favorite book is my favorite book is the 3rd book, called Ignite Me, but it's just so good. Like, each book has like a major plot twist. Like, if I had to recommend one book to you, it would be this book because it's so fast paced. Like, I got through these each really fast. You're just burned through it. And like, when I say easy to read, I also mean like easy to read. She's been alone for all these years, so when she writes, like, she's very simple with the way she talks, which makes it easy to read. There's not like big words. I love the love interest so much, and her, oh my gosh, it's just the best book ever. And Kenji, you'll find out who Kenji is, but he's like the funniest guy ever. So yeah, that is all my books. I would say my top 3 are Shatter Me, any of the Trinity that I showed you are so good, Every Summer After, and The Summer of Broken Rules. That's crazy. Might be my top 3 books. Well, other than the series, I guess. But yeah, I hope you read these. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. I hope you read these.